What if you woke up tomorrow and the world was at war? You're scrolling through the news on your phone, but the biggest, most immediate threat isn't on some distant battlefield, it's in your bank account. That life savings you've worked so hard for? Suddenly, you can't get to it. The value of your currency is in freefall, and to stop the bleeding, your government has just frozen all money leaving the country. This isn't some movie script. It's a terrifyingly real playbook for what happens when the world gets messy, because today, your money is just a number on a screen, and someone, somewhere, can hit delete. The fragility of modern wealth when major wars break out, one of the first casualties is always the money. It's a tale as old as time. Governments need to fund their war efforts, so they print more cash, a lot more. This triggers hyperinflation, and suddenly the money in your pocket and your bank account is worth a fraction of what it was. It's a hidden tax on everyone, and it can make a nation's currency worthless almost overnight. And let's be real, your wealth isn't a stack of bills sitting in a vault. It's just a digital entry in a bank's private spreadsheet. In a serious global crisis, this system is shockingly delicate. A well-aimed cyberattack could scramble or even erase financial records. But what's far more likely is that governments, desperate to stop the panic, will enforce something called capital controls. It's a clean, legal way of saying, that's still your money, you just can't use it. They can stop you from moving it, prevent you from buying other currencies, or even block you from making large withdrawals. Your money becomes a hostage in a failing system. Your financial freedom, gone, in an instant. And good luck trying to sell your stocks in a market crash or move your real estate across a lockdown border when the system breaks. This isn't just a what-if scenario. We've seen previews of this exact situation play out recently. When the conflict between Russia and Ukraine escalated in 2022, both governments threw up immediate and severe financial walls. Ordinary people, just like you and me, were suddenly cut off from their own funds, unable to flee with their savings or even support their families. In the chaos, cryptocurrency exchanges in both countries saw trading go through the roof as people scrambled to get their money into anything that the government couldn't. Control. Now, imagine that on a global scale. Picture widespread internet and power outages. Suddenly, it's not just your online banking that's down. The centralized servers that run everything, every credit card swipe, every wire transfer go dark. In that world, your credit card is just a piece of plastic. Your bank balance is just an unreachable promise. The entire system you've trusted your whole life has ground to a halt, and every dollar you thought you had is trapped in the gears. This is when the real panic sets in, the gut-wrenching realization that your financial security is completely dependent on systems that can be shut down or manipulated by the very people waging the war. Bitcoin, a parallel financial system. This is exactly why Bitcoin was created. It wasn't designed to be just another stock or risky investment. It was built from the ground up to be an alternative, a parallel financial system that works completely outside the control of any government or bank. First, it's decentralized. There's no CEO to subpoena, no central office to shut down. Your Bitcoin can't be frozen, and your transactions can't be blocked by a single entity. It runs on a global network of thousands of computers, so even if one part of the world goes dark, the network keeps running. Second, it has a fixed supply. There will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin. That's it. It's written into the code. Governments can't fire up the printing presses to make more Bitcoin and inflate away your savings. This hard-coded scarcity makes it behave more like digital gold than a flimsy fiat currency. And third, it's borderless. All you need is a connection to the internet, and you can send or receive Bitcoin from anyone, anywhere in the world. No permission needed. And here's the crucial part. You can store your wealth not in a bank vault, but in your own head, simply by memorizing a 12 or 24-word phrase. It's the equivalent of having gold bars that you can carry in your mind. Now, in the first shock of a global conflict, Bitcoin would likely drop, just like every other asset, as big investors panic sell everything. But its real purpose shines through once the dust starts to settle. After the invasion of Ukraine in 2022, for example, Bitcoin saw a significant price surge in the following days as people in the region desperately looked for an escape from their failing currencies. The risks, and reality of course, let's be realistic. Bitcoin isn't a magic bullet. In a war zone, its biggest weak spot is its need for basic infrastructure, namely internet and electricity. If you have widespread, long-term blackouts, it could be tough to make transactions. Then again, the same is true for every other form of digital money, including your online bank account, which is far more centralized and easier to shut down. There's also the risk of big institutions dumping their holdings. As Bitcoin gets more woven into the global financial system, a massive market crash could see large funds sell off their crypto right along with their stocks. But that's a short-term risk. The long-term reason people will turn to it in a crisis is the failure of everything else. War is the ultimate accelerator of inflation and distrust in traditional money, pushing people toward assets that can't be manipulated or endlessly created. Look, the time to wrap your head around this is now, not when a crisis is already banging on the door and the ATMs are empty. You don't have to become an expert overnight. Just start learning. Be curious. Understand the tools that are out there that can offer you a little more control over your own financial life. If you want to keep exploring how technology is changing money and security, subscribe to the channel and let's figure this stuff out together. In a world turned upside down by conflict, the very definition of a safe asset is going to be rewritten. Money that can be frozen, inflated away, or seized with a few keystrokes won't be the money that lasts. The wealth that endures will be decentralized, provably scarce, and under the control of its owner. Bitcoin was built for this exact brand of chaos. It's more than just an investment. It's an escape hatch from a traditional financial system that's proving to be much more fragile than any of us wanted to believe.